Alright guys, back here with another video, and this time I'm excited to show you one of my favorite leaders' updated reboot, basically card. Shout out to Andrew Duvall for creating that. And before we get into it, I want to make sure you guys smash that like button and leave a comment below about what you liked about the profile, what you're looking forward to see on the channel. Our team's going to be doing a lot of channel update content for Yu-Gi-Oh! And DBS in the near future. Also, make sure to check out the links in the description for the Shopify and tell me what your favorite item is inside the shop. Currently, we have playmats. We have a deck box available still. We have shirts, hoodies, and it's about to be hoodie season, so stay on the lookout. Use code airfare10 at checkout to save 10% off your entire order. And just share the link with your friends to see if they like anything. And if you want custom stuff, feel free to email us at airfaregaming@gmail.com. And let's go and get into it. So, oldie but goodie, Hirudegarn. Attack, discard a battle card from your hand, draw two, and that will trigger some of your Hirudegarn related cards, and then untap it for less life, and you untap two and flip over. And then you become the Perfection Hirudegarn. When he attacks, draw a card, and if you're at 4 more energy, which is very key, because you'll get the 4 energy on turn 3 due to the new card. If you're playing correctly and you get to 4 life as soon as you can, you get to make your opponent take 1 card from their hand and place it on top of their deck, which is really cool. Basically, it makes their hand whittle down. It makes this leader really, really powerful. And I'll stay tuned to the end if you guys are curious about what cards you can side. I mean, like not side, but like potentially side deck or just play in general, because I could see them being powerful. I just need to test to see which cards are more important than others. Got 4 Tapion, Hero of the Calamity. This card is a top 5 searcher for heroes, and you get to grab the Phantom Demon cards with cost 3 or less, which is very important, and I'll go over that card in a moment. But that 3 or less, that 3 cost Hirudegarn card is really powerful for the way the deck is built at this very moment. And yeah, this card's really good to start with. You want to have this card in your opening hand every time. Then the next card you want to see in your opening hand, if you don't see this one, or if you want to see a combination, is Tapion, Fate of a Hero. This card is really strong. You pay 1 if your leader is a Phantom Demon or green card. Play it and draw a card in this deck, because I'm not playing the box. So basically a 1-drop 15k blocker, draw a card. Really good. Then the card you really want to discard on your first attack is Hidden Darkness Minotia. Now this card says whenever it's sent from your hand to the drop area, you get to search out Hirudegarn the Wanderer. So playing 3 and 2. You don't want to clog these cards. They're just like extra value and allow your leader to just plus really easy. You can discard this card off a super combo as well and get the free plus. So keep that in mind. Minotia Calamity Challenger. I got 2 copies. This is a free blocker on your turn if you discard it by one of your effects. And there are a lot of ways to proc this effect. Super combo on your own turn, leader effect, just like the other card. And then you can also, if your opponent makes you discard a card on your turn somehow for an effect, it just comes back. Really cool. Just a good card in general. Free blocker. Free value. It's nice. Also, it is a hero. To the Hirudegarn card, just the 3-drop. This card is similar to the what does it say? Gamma 1, Gamma 2 card where you discard and then look at the top 5. But this one will discard, look at the top 7, grab a Hirudegarn Phantom Demon card from the top 7, and you can even add itself, which is really nice. Because sometimes you really need to dig into your combo pieces. There are 16 total cards that you can hit with this, not including the first one you activate. So you have 15 cards out of your deck, which is currently 56 cards that are potential targets to get hit off this. So you do want to resolve this and make sure you hit all the pieces in the combo. Also, while it's a card in your drop area, you can play this for free over top of one of your heroes. And it has another Fate with Spirit Boost, but that doesn't really come up, so I'm not going to really talk about it much. But this card is an evolved target. Will start your chain, basically, as long as you have a 1-drop hero to play it on top of. You got the 5-drop Hirudegarn. This card is technically a 1-cost EX evolve over top of the 3-drop, which is basically how you're going to play it. It has barrier, dual attack, which is really nice. To play your 8-drop Hirudegarn, you really do need the bodies on board, because it says blue battle cards in your battle area or combo area. So this guy's barrier, Also, it has another effect, but we don't really take advantage of this that the bottom effect on in this deck specifically. But whenever it's played, choose up one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 4 or less, and return it to its owner's hand. It's basically can tempo out a little bit. Usually, you don't care to put cards back in your opponent's hand though. So unless it happens to be a card they really have to like pay for, and that they can't afford to pay for it, but still doesn't really come up that often. To the 7-drop, Hirudegarn Calamity Complete. You can evolve this one over top of this one for 2 energy, which is really nice. And when it's played, you get to draw a card and make your opponent top deck a... Was it? Sorry, bottom deck. Yeah, I was about to say bottom deck a battle card, and in turn, you get to restand a blue energy, which is really nice. It also can activate main if you have 4 more energy, which you will. Get rid of 2 heroes from your drop area, and this card gains triple strike. So this is a triple striker threat on turn 3, which is really nice. But I'll go into the play at the very end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But this is the card that makes the deck really, really work now. This card is brilliant. It is so good. I wish it kind of didn't have the blue-green like aspect to it, which would make it better, but nonetheless, this card is Deflect, unique. When this card attacks, choose one of your opponent's you choose one of these effects. Your opponent chooses one card from their hand and places it on top of their deck, just like your leader effect. Or if your leader's a blue Phantom Demon, which it is, you get to play basically this guy from your hand place on the field, and then or you can play the big boss from set 4, the SR. It also has an effect. Choose one of your battle cards and KO it. Add the top card of your deck in your energy and rest mode, which is really powerful. And you play it, like I said earlier, by activate battle when you have 3 or more. When you have 2 or more blue battle cards in your combo area or in play. It says green too, but we're not. We're not. This is mono blue. Let's go ahead and get into the boss it plays. This card is a monster. Literally, when this card's played, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards and place them and one of their cards in their hand and place them on top of their opponent's deck. So one card from the field and one card from the hand on top of the deck. And this card, when it's played, right, it has an effect on your opponent's turn where you can negate an attack and then warp a card from your hand. This card goes to its warp, and then it gets played again at the start of your next turn. Starting next main phase is specific wording. It's really nice because it just comes back and then it triggers again. You get to make them top deck another battle card or a card from their hand, which you get both if they have a battle card in play. But this is a 30k barrier beat stick, really powerful card. Really hard to interact with that card. So when it starts getting that massive advantage from both of the effects from the leader and this making them top deck so many cards, it's really powerful. Tempted to bump this up to 3. Probably going to side deck the 3rd copy because if the game is slow enough, I will most definitely take advantage of this. The game's super fast. This one's a little better, but there is a way to play both of these in the same turn on turn 3, but I will go into that at the very end of the video, so stay tuned for me. I'll basically show you how it works. Then to the super combo of choice. In my opinion, this is the best one for this deck because it's, in my opinion, the best super combo ever created. Discard a card and draw 2. Super good, but you have to get 4 less life. Discarding is way better than bottom decking in most cases, unless you have an engine piece you really need to see. Or keep in deck, that is. So this card is really powerful, especially because it can get rid of those dead extra cards and basically when you're tapped out or you're trying to pressure for a game because you have a bunch of 30k beaters. Force into being its additional defense and offense, so really nice card in this deck. 3D magic and 3 shield armies reinforcement. Basically, I trimmed down the 4th D magic when testing because you don't really need that much negation that actually. I don't know, hard negation is not as good as this in most cases because you just get this plus a token, which is better in most cases. And you have a bunch of energy but it's just really weird because I'll go into basically this is really powerful sometimes, but then sometimes you just want to do this along with your cards that can activate during battle. But we'll get into that in a second. Then the format defining blue card, Dirty Burst. All my teammates are saying that 3 of this is mandatory. I was thinking 2 because it's deck thin so much, so you could probably trim the deck down and probably side deck this card depending on your local meta. If they're not playing a lot of red, you can side deck this card. But depending on best of one pre-side. I could trim down the deck size a bit by just siding these three, or deciding in taking out one and maybe taking out another, like form of extra card, just so you don't clog on them as much. But this card is anti 7 cost or more battle cards. When counterplay, pay 1 and pay 1. You draw a card. Your opponent cannot attack with battle cards with energy cost 7 or more for the turn, and it just has a generic negate effect. So, basically, you have 9 negates and beans, as well as 2 Phantom Flame Cannon. This card is actually better now because of the way the deck ramps up, and you need the pressure to like when you're comboing, because you don't want to combo with 10Ks like battle cards, that is, because you get to play those with your new Hirudegarn 8 drop, the Deval special. Basically, you don't want to combo those cards for pressure. You'd rather just play them from your hand. So you do need a 10K pressure that's not your super combo that will actually do something else. So this, and or you can play Kamehameha. This is 15K draw card. So it's something I'm tempted at, but like this is good on either player's turn, because I don't feel like this card is as good on your opponent's turn because it's just a free 15K, but the value this provides is really nice on either player's turn. So just I'm gonna have to test, see which one's better. I'm really partial to the Kamehameha, but the Flame Cannon is like always good basically, as long as you have the energy. And 2 Realm of the Gods, Beerus Destroys. This card just draw a card, so it has a aspect like this card where it draws a card on your opponent's turn, on your opponent's turn rather than your turn. So, yeah, and it has a little bit of removal, which is nice. Versatile card. Then you got 1 Super Saiyan God, Goku Miraculous Transformation. This is a triple striker with barrier and unique and deflect, so it's really easy to play. On your opponent's turn, basically, if your opponent has 3 energy, this card becomes a 3-drop. 3 energy minimum. So when it comes into play in rest mode, negates an attack, and your opponent cannot take your leader card as long as this card is in rest mode, which is really powerful. And yeah, basically this is a wall. You can defend this rather than your leader. Really powerful card. Just a 1-of. And then this is where it gets kind of iffy because I'm not sure if I really want to play this card in this deck. And it sounds weird, but Majin Buu, the Unison, is really powerful, but you don't want to clog with cards that you can't play. And you can play a 2-cost Unison. I'll go over that in a minute. But this card is really strong at playing defense as well as being a double striker threat. That's a Unison. So some matchups you really do need a Unison to pressure, and this has removal whenever your opponent attacks. So as well draws a card every turn. So you can play this on turn 4, just like normal, but you'll have 2 energy on your opponent's turn minimum, which is nice because on your turn 4 you should have 5 energy, which is nice. So, and if you have multiple beans, I guess you could technically play this on turn 3 and as well as like mount a board, which is really cool. Then to the secret of choice is obviously Baby Hatch. There's no real replacement for this card, and a good thing it's going to reprint soon for you guys that really want to play blue but never had Baby Hatch. This card is a time skip, like a turn skip, and it's really powerful. And this is another choice that can be swapped out, Scientist Fu, but drawing 2 cards for 1 energy is really powerful. And the only thing that's bad about this card in this deck specifically is that you don't want to charge this off the top with your 8-drop. But other than that, there's no real downside other than it being a 10K sometimes, but then other times it doesn't really matter. This is a 1-drop double striker that has extreme pressure and allows you to draw into more Hirudegarn pieces as the game goes on. So really strong. I used to play this with Storm back in the day, so it feels nice to be able to play it again. 56 cards currently, and I'm not sure if I want to really go down. We'll go to the extra deck stuff, the Zenkai, and so these are the ones that you'll primarily play. You're probably going to at least play 1 copy of the one from the starter deck, the Gogeta 5-drop. But this is the ones you mainly want to play. Probably going to play like 3 copies of this one, 1 copy of this one minimum, and maybe 2 copies of the Gogeta one. Maybe you could even play 2, and 3 of this one. You're never going to really play that many, but this is like when you need pressure and you don't have any of the cards you really want to play, this is a dual attacking board clear for like non-barrier cards that are 5 or less and place them under the card, and he becomes a 25 dual attack critical, which is just really powerful for 3 actual mana and 2 Zenkai energy, or Z energy. And this is a 1 cost take a life, so if your opponent tries to stall you at 6, you just play this for 1 and 1 Zenkai, take a life, and he has unique, so you can't play another one that, like, while this one's on board, and they usually don't kill it because they don't want you to play another one. But I can see cases where you would potentially play 2, but usually just 1 would be fine with this card. But it's really just a Self-Awakener that you don't have to play in your main deck anymore. So if you guys go to your local game stores, you should be able to get a copy of this card. 2 copies, actually, which is really nice. For free. Along with some other cool promos. Other cards that obviously I talked about earlier that you can play. This triggers your Hirudegarn related heroes, which is really cool. So keep that in mind. You can play Awakened Instincts. You could take in the 1 Zeno just in case you get a card in your energy that you like, Baby Hatch or Scientist Food in your energy, and you play this and bounce it back to your hand, which would be really nice. But the Hoy Super Combo is too powerful in my opinion to play Zeno. And you drawing cards on your opponent's turn is really nice rather than restanding energy. 3 of these, you could put these in your side decks for sure. The SS Vegeta, the Interceptor, the basically bottom deck 2 your opponent's battle cards is pretty good synergy with like the way the deck plays with removal as well as being a dual attacker. Good pressure. So I'm pretty sure I'm side decking this card at minimum. I might end up putting this in my main as a one of. This card's really good. The 4D Magic. And then there's this card too you can play, Demeter the Sinister Sorcerer. This card kind of has synergy to the sense where like you get to combo with a card from your opponent's hand if they combo with a battle card. Whenever they warp a battle card, whenever he's played, which is, well, when he's attacked, sorry. So you gotta use a specific wording. But it's really nice to have that ability to get more hand destruction, even though it's not like the same type of top decking. But in an overall slot, you could play this over Fu or the Bardock Awakened Instincts, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Scientist Fu is probably the best slot. And Unison, you can play this as well because you can get it off the 1-drop because the 1-drop also can grab okay, yeah, or 1 blue Unison with 2 costs because so I was testing with this. This card can grab this off the top 5 if you really want to, as like you can play this a couple slots, or you can play the Android 17, 18 Unison. You can there's basically that card's just a free like pressure card. So it really depends on how you want to go with it. You're going to be super aggressive and super passive. So this deck does have the ability to do both. And if you play the Unison package, you can play the Trunks counter plays, and you can also play Heroic Prospect. And if you play Unison, it makes this card even more playable because this is a hero card that you can take as a one-of. You can also evolve this for 2 over top of one of your 1-drops, so keep that as an option, the Tapion Calamity Challenger. But yeah, thank you guys for watching once again, and make sure you leave us some feedback. I appreciate the support. And if you want to see gameplay, we have some gameplay on the way with the new Zenkai cards, and also stay on the lookout for live streams whenever we do go live. And like, let us know what kind of Zenkai support you want to see in the next deck profile. And happy hunting for your God Rares. Deuces.